Hi, and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Currier, and it is my mission to simplify YouTube so you and I can grow together. Welcome, everyone, to our weekly live stream. For those of you who may be new to the live stream, we do this every Wednesday night, now at a new time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. The format has changed from previous live streams. What we're going to try to do over the next 60 minutes is focus on answering any questions that you have about your channel or YouTube, and just try to have a conversation about YouTube and try to give you any information that's not clear, either in videos that I've created here on the channel, or just problems that you're running into, or questions that you have about how the platform works. Any of those are inbounds. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. It does seem like notifications are a little bit screwy today, but that is no problem. We will hang out and have a good time nonetheless. If you are new to the live stream and you're looking for content that can help you simplify YouTube, please consider clicking that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you're alerted on future content. So have a few different things to talk about this evening. Good to see people out there in the audience. I see some regulars as well as some new faces, so to speak. So we'll jump in the chat in just a minute. Say hello to everybody, but again, want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I've been busy working on a bunch of different projects, doing some crazy things like planning a conference, so we'll talk about that a little bit. But if you have questions, try to tag me in the comments, and also ask your question, and we will do our best to go through that list of questions and get everything answered. So we're going to jump in the chat and say hello. Thanks again. I cannot thank you guys enough for coming and hanging out tonight. And let's see who we have out there. Moving on up with the Monvilles is out there. Slap Happy Jelly. Mohammed Foot You, welcome. Hassel Tools. Devin Noel. NTS Wolf. Let's see. Boba Pun Pun. NHL Master. Pen Pal TV. Robert Enriquez. Who else is out there? TNZ RV Life. Good to see you. DNRGW, Iron Horse Route, good to see you as well. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Valmy Briggs, Baggers and Brews, X Just Game. Great to have you all in the live stream this evening. Like I said, new format if you've been to previous live streams. What we're doing now in an effort to try to compensate for a little bit of burnout that I was facing trying to do my full-time career, do family stuff, and then come home and start the live stream at 9 o'clock at night. I've moved the live streams to 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to do 60 minutes. So for the next hour, we'll hang out, try to answer questions, in an effort to be able to get these live streams back on track on a weekly basis, because honestly, they were just wearing me out at 9 o'clock because, you know, I'm old. So by the time 9 o'clock rolls around, it's tough to get up energy to do an hour or 2 hours on a live stream, in full disclosure. So that's why we moved to 8 o'clock. It allows me to work on some other things, plus be able to come and hang out with you guys on a weekly basis. So excited for that. Excited for a lot of things that I have going on. Interested in hearing what you guys have going on. And we're going to scroll in and look at some questions. I know there were some questions in there that I saw a little bit earlier, and I want to make sure I address those. So Devin Noel Lee asks, how do you recover traction on a video that you released earlier than scheduled, but then had to set it to private for a spell and now has no traction? Unfortunately, there's not really a good way to do that if you've kind of killed it dead in the water in that case. It really depends on the type of video that it is. If it is a searchable content, then it'll kind of do its own thing and may eventually gain steam. If it wasn't searchable content and you've already gone through the process of making it public and having your initial push from your subscribers, and then set it to private, you may be out of luck in that case. I would say instead of worrying about that particular video, I would focus on your future content and keep putting out videos that people respond to, and you know, have that same positive response to gain momentum on the new content. Right here, I think, let's see, we have Car Galaxy Studios out there. Good to see you. History Explained, Mr. Miyagi. T Insurinda TV is out there as well. Logan Lodge. All right, and I think I saw a couple other questions. Let me jump in and see if we can find them. Let's see. Good night. It's 1 in Algeria. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out. That is definitely a late night for you. After you monetize, what do you have to do to maintain monetization? Watch hours ? So to maintain monetization, you need to maintain at least 4,000 watch hours over the past 12 months, and that's a rolling count. So at any given time, you need to be able to look at the past 12 months for your account and have at least 4,000 watch hours. So obviously that's trying to protect against somebody who had like a viral video and then stopped making content. You have to continue to make content to maintain that level of watch hours over a 12-month period, which is in contrast to your subscribers. You simply have to get above 1,000 subscribers, and obviously not fall below 1,000, but typically that's not an issue. But once you get to that 1,000 mark, you're good on the subscribers. I applied new channel art. I would love to know if I am on the right track. So let's take a peek at your channel art. So I would say on your channel art, DNR GW, Iron Horse Route. So one of the things that I would say about your channel art, generally speaking, it's cool, but the one challenge with your channel art is that when it shows up on mobile, you're probably going to get at least half your traffic from mobile. Some of the core information that's in your channel art, and let's see if we can share this with everybody so they have an idea. Let's try. Give me 1 second here. I will tweak this display, properties, display. Heading into OBS and kind of tweaking things here so we can show you the other display. And that's literally not changing anything. So let's try this. I don't know if will this work? Yeah, totally. Not what I wanted to do. Boom. Okay, so yeah, that's not quite working the way we'd like it to. It just started playing music in my ear. And it appears that display capture is broken. So can't show you exactly what I'm looking at on the channel, but basically it is an N-scale modeling channel. It has the channel name in the middle of the channel art, but unfortunately it identifies itself as the N-scale modeling channel out on the periphery, the sides of the channel art. The problem with that is those sides are going to get cut off when people view on mobile. So, and the graphics in the background, which show a train, are not quite as detailed in the middle of your channel art. So in theory, that's going to cut off the N-scale modeling identification for those people who are viewing your content on mobile. So you may want to consider getting the N-scale modeling information in the center of your channel art. So no matter how people view your channel, they're going to know right away what your content is about. And right now, the way it stands, anybody on mobile is not going to see the designation or the reference to the N-scale modeling channel. So that's something to consider. All right. History Explained, do you have advice promoting your channel in the comments of more successful channels in your niche? Yes, I have advice. Do not do that. That is not a good idea. You do not promote your channel in the comments of other people's channels. If you want to use other people's channels to quote-unquote promote your content, you do it by becoming part of the conversation on their channels, but never self-promote in somebody else's comment section. That is absolutely spam. And it's frowned upon and something that's not going to help your channel grow in the long run. But if you watch somebody else's video on a big channel and you leave a thoughtful response, that can absolutely encourage people to look at your content. People know that they can simply click on your icon to view your channel if they want to. So you're better off being, having an intelligent response or a thoughtful response to the topic of the video that you're covering, And if people are interested in your response, then they know how to get to your channel. But definitely do not go out of your way to promote your channel on anybody else's channel. All right. You are welcome, Iron Horse Route. All right. That is a good channel. When is a good time for a newer channel to set up affiliate links? I would set up affiliate links as soon as possible. The way I like to look at things, and I give this advice on a bunch of different things when it comes to building your channel and preparing to build a business around your channel. A lot of people will say, oh, it's just a hobby. But what I found is a lot of people consider their channel a hobby because they don't have the confidence to see into the future and know that they can actually build a business around it. I was the same way. You know, it's just a hobby. We're going to try. Oh, hey, by the way, I'm making money. Well, maybe I could make a business out of this. Well, you need to step into YouTube and the content that you're creating with the understanding that you can absolutely build a business around your passion and kind of start that from the beginning. So that comes along the lines of going and setting up affiliate accounts. Maybe you're not driving the traffic to really drive significant sales through affiliate links, but I have done affiliate links through Amazon passively by just including links and videos on my other channel, The Average Dan, and to a certain degree on this channel. And as the channels have grown and the traffic has grown, so too has the revenue from the affiliate links. So you don't need to expect to just have a ton of traffic and conversions. The one thing I will say, recently Amazon has in fact changed some of their Amazon associate rules to the point where they look for some type of activity through your affiliate links. So you just want to keep that in mind. I don't know if it's like sales in the last 90 days or what it is. You can probably look it up and find that information, but I would absolutely get all that stuff set up as soon as you can. Obviously, creating content, getting into a regular flow and a regular schedule is far more important than that. But when you have time, you definitely want to do things like start a mailing list, start affiliate links, lock down all of the same name handles on all the other social media platforms. Even if you're not going to go on Twitter and share stuff now, make sure that whatever channel name that you secure for your YouTube channel is available as a handle on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all of that, because down the road, that's going to be helpful for you, and you don't want to wait too long and have somebody else snatch up one of the names you want. It's better to get all that stuff planned out in the beginning so it gradually grows as your channel grows, and you don't have to scramble to set it up at a time when you decide that it might actually be valuable for you. All right, let's see. Is it better to upload more than once a week? So I honestly believe that the true answer to quantity versus quality is, in fact, quality. Now, some people will argue that by doing a lot of quantity in the beginning, you learn a lot more in a shorter period of time, and there is some validity to that in terms of getting your skills up to par. But the reality is, if you do one high-quality video a week versus 3 kind of half-assed videos a week, there's a good chance that the person who's doing the high-quality video is going to grow faster than the one who's simply making videos for the purpose of trying to meet their schedule. So in theory, if you were making super high quality content and it was equal no matter what your schedule was, then more could be a benefit. But what we tend to see is people get locked in their head that a schedule is super important. They got to stick with it. And then they go, oh my God, it's today. This is my schedule. I got to put a video out on Wednesdays. What am I going to put out? Let me force something out. And in the long run, that doesn't really help you. Whereas if you spend the entire week and you make a super high quality video and you put a lot of thought into it, you focus on trying to keep people engaged and you're fulfilling value to your customer, or, your viewers or subscribers, then those are probably going to fare better than somebody who's simply trying to put out a lot of content. I mean, there's people who quote unquote are gamers and do gaming channels, and they literally do nothing but play the game every day with no added value. And those channels are never going to grow. And some of them do multiple videos a day because all they're really doing is recording them playing all day. So obviously you got to put some thought and effort into it. You do want to focus on quality and improving quality over time. All right, let's see what we got here. Alexandria the God, many of your thumbnails are extremely similar. Do you suggest creating a particular format for thumbnails and sticking to that, or should we change it up? So generally speaking, when you're trying to build a brand online, using similar thumbnails is a great way to do that. So there are, and that was certainly the case in my channel and many channels. When you're simply not chasing views and you just want a single video to try to get as many views, and you're actually trying to build a brand, like if you do cross-stitching, or you do some kind of craft and you want to be known as an expert in that craft, then there is absolutely value in developing branding where people can quickly identify your content, because ultimately that's what helps build brand awareness. That's how people become familiar with you. Had I made every single thumbnail completely different and my face wasn't on my thumbnails, it would probably take a lot longer for people to know about Creator Fundamentals and to know about Dan Currier. My goal was absolutely to focus on building my brand, gaining some relevance and some authority in the niche that I am focused in. And I highly recommend you doing that, and you find a structured format for both your channel art and your icon and your thumbnails to help build brand awareness. And when people are out there looking for your content, if they happen to be watching one of your videos and they find it super interesting, and there's some suggested videos there on the right-hand side, and every one of your thumbnails is different and your face isn't on there, it's going to be really hard for them to find more content. So from that perspective, I definitely encourage people to try to find some branding that ties everything together, lets people quickly identify that the video is in fact from your channel. Now, I've certainly experimented and done different style thumbnails strictly to see if I can get a single video to perform in a certain way. And I recommend that you experiment. But generally speaking, having that core, that library of content that people can quickly identify as yours goes a long way in helping to build your brand online. All right, I see a bunch of question marks. Let's see. Do videos really get blacklisted depending on the topic of the video? So YouTube has come out and actually identified that they do in fact do certain things behind the scenes to restrict the promotion of certain content. Especially, they came out and talked about children's content. If you actually go and if you go to the YouTube blog and you look at the CEO's memo, or I don't know if it's a quarterly letter or yearly or whatever it is, they identify like four topics that they're focused on. And one of them, let me see if I can pull it up and I can share it with you. They pretty much come out and say they are restricting the spread of certain type of content. So obviously, if your content is identified as that type of content, whether it's done in an automated fashion accidentally, let me grab the YouTube forum real quick. YouTube blog and official blog. Maintaining credibility and consistency on YouTube. Music charts. Let's see. Where is good old update from Susan? Where are you at, girl? You're in there somewhere. I know you are. YouTube. Oh, there she is. Preserving openness through responsibility. Good old Susan. All right, so what Susan has to say on that topic, let's see if I can find it. So they come right out and say, we remove content that violates our policies as quickly as possible. And they're taking, especially when it comes to children, they're not only limiting those videos, they're actually deleting them right off the site and up to and including channels. They also mentioned that it's her 4 R's, I think, is how she promoted this. So they remove content that violates policy. They raise up authoritative voices when people are looking for breaking news and information, meaning they identify who's considered authoritative on particular topics, and they do things to promote them more than other channels, which is kind of an interesting thing, which is a little bit in conflict to the idea that it's simply making content that people respond to, because YouTube comes right out and says, we're going to identify certain content that we think is authoritative and promote it more than other content. Then it says, we reduce the spread of content that brushes right up against our policy line. So they're basically saying, even though something may not violate a policy, we are going to limit its exposure. So they do come right out and say they are manipulating what type of content is seen and by whom, depending on how they interpret that content. So that's kind of an interesting thing. The information that comes out from Susan is always pretty interesting when you dig into it. And then the fourth R is rewarding trusted, eligible creators. As we set a higher bar for what channels can make money on our site, rewarding trusted, eligible creators. Not all content on YouTube is going to match advertisers, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought this was a very eye-opening response and message from her, because out of the 4 points that she identifies, their approach to handling responsibility, they come right out and say, we're going to raise up authoritative voices, which just opens a whole can of worms in terms of who they identify as authoritative and whether that has any ideology leanings to it. And it also goes even further to say we reduce the spread of content that brushes up against policy. So if your content is deemed to be close to policy violations, they can absolutely blacklist it and prevent its spread to a greater audience. So I thought all that was interesting, because it doesn't really identify, it doesn't say that they are identifying it as not ad friendly. It's actually, we reduce the spread of content that brushes up right up against our policy. Already in the US, where we made changes to recommendations earlier this year, we've seen a 50% drop in watch time to this type of content. So they've literally flagged content that they have deemed close to policy violations, even though it hasn't crossed the line, and hit those channels and content to a 50% drop. So obviously that hits some channels hard, and one would imagine, given the history and the results of previous attempts by YouTube to do these types of things, that automation is at play, and it's very possible that certain content is unfairly grouped into some of the responsibility that YouTube is trying to deploy. All right, and let's see where we're at here. We got that. Let me make sure I didn't miss any more question marks. Hey, to help me out, guys, if you do have questions, just do @Creator Fundamentals. If you're on a desktop, you can type ahead and it'll type it in. If you're on mobile, for whatever reason, YouTube hasn't figured that out yet, just actually type the @ symbol and type Creator Fundamentals and then hit a space and ask your question, and it'll highlight it to me in the chat. It just makes it easier than looking for question marks. Let's see where we're going here. And we got that covered. And questions. How do you enable donations while live streaming on PS4? I would imagine that live streaming on PS4 is no different than live streaming anywhere else. If you're talking about donations, it depends. I would imagine donations in terms of Super Chat, which is something that's built into the live streaming chat, is something that's afforded to channels that meet certain requirements that are part of the YouTube Partner Program. But there's certainly other ways that you can give people the opportunity to support your channel if that's what they're looking to do. You can do like a paypal.me address. You can do Streamlabs. You can do Patreon, which, by the way, I just recently revamped my Patreon. If you guys are interested in supporting the type of content that I'm creating here on Creator Fundamentals, you can go to patreon.com/Creator Fundamentals and check out the different tiers. I definitely appreciate the support. One of the things that I try to do on a yearly basis is make it out to some of the conferences to gather some of the latest strategy and techniques and bring that information back and try to share the content with you. So your support is absolutely essential and very much appreciated. So that's patreon.com/Creator Fundamentals for those of you who might be interested in doing that. So let's see where our next questions are. So along those lines, you can absolutely set up a Patreon. You can set up your PayPal.me account, which is just a direct way for people to contribute donations. And then like I put mine, I think mine's like at the very bottom of the description of all my videos. I don't do a lot with the PayPal one, but it's certainly something that you can include. All right. Most organic way to get 500 to 1,000 subscribers. The absolute best organic way to get 500 to 1,000 subscribers is to focus on a specific topic, which is what everybody calls a niche or a niche. Identify the topic that you want to make content about. Keep your content as focused on that topic as possible, and then start making content. Each time you make a video, take a look at that video, identify something that you can improve upon, and then improve that in the next video. You keep doing that, you keep making content, you focus on improvement, getting better over time, and you won't have any problem reaching 500 to 1,000 subscribers. It does take work. It's not an overnight success, and simply cheating your way to 500 to 1,000 subscribers isn't really going to do anything. So the people who go out and do sub for sub and those kind of things to get those numbers don't really end up going anywhere but off the platform, because they either get kicked off because it's a violation of YouTube's policy, or they realize that having 500 subscribers that are fake doesn't do anything positive for you, and then they get bored and they leave the platform. So the best way to get legitimate subscribers is absolutely to focus on the content and not the subscribers. How can I get more views on my videos? Make videos that people want to watch. I know that sounds simple, but that is absolutely what you want to do. You need to understand who your audience is, what type of content that you're making, and then strive to get better, more engaged video, and then work on your thumbnail so people are enticed by the thumbnail to click on your video and see what it's about. Use titles that are intriguing, that kind of interest people to the point where they need to figure out exactly what you're talking about. So they're going to click on the video to see what's next or to see what you mean. Obviously, you want to stay true to the actual content in your video in both the thumbnail and the title, but you want to create that interest or that question or that reason, something that compels the click and gets people to actually go into your videos and watch your content. Once they're there, you need to keep them there and keep them watching. So those types of things, making high quality content or continually improving your content, learning how to keep people engaged in your content is going to send positive signals to YouTube, and it's going to get YouTube to actually share your content with more and more people. And again, as it gets shared with more and more people, the more positive response you get from people, the more it gets shared. So it is definitely all a response to the way in which you're able to engage people and then keep them engaged after they click on one of your videos. Hey, Sam B, welcome to the live stream. All right. Many of our we covered that one. Let's see. Covered that. What do you think of the niche asking public questions? I'm not really sure what a public question is, so you might have to elaborate on that. There certainly have been channels that just deal on like common questions, and you could probably make a pretty good traffic video like that. Nick Nimmin, prior to doing his channel, actually has a channel. It's either called All Our Questions or All Your Questions. I think it's All Our Questions. That was a channel that he created before well, technically it was after his channel, but he ultimately went back to his Nick Nimmin channel and started growing that one. So those types of formats can absolutely work. You just have to find something that you can, sustain and make sure you're doing the research on those and answering questions that are very common that people frequently search for on the platform. All right. Solar's Life, I have a question. How do you get a fan? Again, sharing your content, getting it out there so people can view it, and just understanding that people go out to watch videos for a certain purpose. You need to identify why you're making videos and why somebody might want to watch. It's super important that when you're making content and you're setting up your channel, that you're not focused on yourself. So I see a ton of channels doing channel reviews and things like that where people say, I make videos, I do this and this and this and this, and that's their description. You want to look at it from the viewer's perspective. If you want to see videos on how to build RC cars, subscribe to my channel. Or we provide content that helps you build RC cars or learn how to modify them or something like that. It's really important that you are providing a value that people are interested in, and doing that will naturally gain followers and subscribers and fans. Patrick Hollett, welcome to the live stream. Let's see. Oh, this darn chat that just jumps to the bottom. All right, here. And let me get up. I see some tags there. We're going to cover those. JLS Group, I am Indian, sir, and your country. I'm in the United States, here in upstate New York. Challenge to build. I asked this question on Daryl and Nick's live stream last weekend, but I'm curious to hear another option. Thanks in advance. What's the actual question? Oh. I think I see you down there. Let me get down there. Challenge, top 3 analytics to watch. I was actually watching their live stream when they answered that question. And I'm actually going to go a little bit. So for me, obviously, your average view duration, your relative audience retention are definitely valuable ones, because you want to... Typically, when I launch a video, I look at the new dashboard, the YouTube Studio, and I like to watch how that video is comparing. It'll show you where that video ranks in your last top 10 videos or your last 10 videos at that certain period of time. So at 1 hour, it'll show you how all your previous videos did at the 1 hour mark. And I usually will keep an eye on that to see how the video is performing in comparison to my last 10 videos. Obviously, you want to be making videos that continue to improve the quality. So you want to try to get, that #1 position, but it just doesn't always work that way. You're never completely sure exactly how people are going to respond to content. So that's one that I look at. And then after a video has been out for a while, I do in fact look at click-through rate. And I also look at the average view duration and the audience retention percentage-wise to see exactly how whether the video captured people's attention and kept them watching. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to suggest above and beyond the analytics that are provided on YouTube, TubeBuddy actually provides this like a retention analyzer when you sign up for TubeBuddy, which, by the way, this live stream is sponsored by TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is the #1 browser plugin for managing and growing your YouTube channel. You can download it for free. There's a link in the description below, or you can go to trytubebuddy.today and get started for free. But TubeBuddy has this retention analyzer that actually shows you, I don't know, it's like your last 50 videos, and it shows you how long, like how many people watched a particular video for the first minute, for, I think it's like the first minute, second minute, 50%, 75%, and then made it all the way to the end of the video. And you can really see how some videos perform. Evan Carmichael is actually somebody who has, I think he just crossed 2 million subscribers, and one of his analytics is he focuses on trying to keep the highest percentage of people watching for that first minute. What his thoughts are is if you can nail that first minute and really keep everybody engaged, or as many people as possible, keep that percentage super high for that first minute, then that leads to success on your content. So generally speaking, you want to get people into your videos. So your click-through rate, you want them to get in, and then you want them to stay as long as possible once they start watching the video. KRDP, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late. I got the notification. Did the notification come late? Because the one thing that I did notice when I went live, that it started out a lot slower than normal. Granted, I put up the post, or I shared, I made it public kind of later than I would normally do, but it definitely was slow in the beginning in terms of people popping into the live stream. So I'm curious how if everybody got their notifications in a timely manner. Usually I get a notification. Let's see if did I, because I have 2 different channels and I'm probably subscribed to myself, I usually get a notification that I go live, and I didn't get one. So that's kind of weird. So definitely not everybody who's subscribed to the channel got notifications tonight, but what are you going to do? It is YouTube. All right. So let's see, trying to catch up here. Robert Enriquez, promoting a video. I'm having trouble with it. Feel like I'm not doing it right. I promote on all platforms. How would you go about promoting your own videos? So here's the one thing about promoting. If you're making quality content on YouTube, YouTube will promote your content without you sharing it on other platforms. There are many people that argue, and there is something to be said for, instead of trying to promote your content everywhere, to focus on making better videos that YouTube will promote for you. Now, that said, when you're first starting out on your channel, it is hard to kind of get momentum on YouTube, and you do have to put some content in for YouTube to kind of get an understanding of what you're all about. So in terms of promoting on other platforms, the reality is you need to have an audience. If you haven't built an audience on any other platform and you like have 5 followers on Twitter and then you share your video, don't expect 1,000 people to click on your link on Twitter. So you really need to focus on growing your audience, and you do that by making content and improving over time. There is no shortcut or quick path to getting a lot of people, in most cases, to jump on your content and watch a ton of it. You really kind of have to make incremental growth on that, and it can be a kind of a drawn out process. So I like to tell people to focus on making your first 100 videos before you get all caught up in the analytics and all growth in those things. If you make 100 videos and you improve a little each time, you'll be well on your way with your monetization numbers and your audience, and you won't have problem getting people to watch your videos. All right. Where are we at here? All astrology, best beginners astrology. Hi, Dan. We are a team. Multiple times our audio doesn't match our video, and we have to re-record. This really causes scheduling issues. Tips. So typically when that happens, you said we are a team, so I'm imagining that perhaps you are collecting everybody's audio through some type of like Zoom, or you're doing some type of online meeting setup. If you're doing that, there's a couple different ways you can do it. If you're live streaming that, there are some offsets in OBS that you can adjust that so your video and your audio sync. If you're pre-recording it, but you're doing it over Zoom, one of the things that you can do is have everybody record. Like, you can get on Zoom and have your interaction, but have everybody record their content locally. So you can get their audio from them, and then you can bring it all together and actually adjust the audio and sync everybody together. That's a lot more involved from a production standpoint, but it can definitely help you out, because a lot of times if you have a lot of latency on whatever it is you're using to coordinate the getting together with your team, then there's some adjustment involved. OBS does in fact have a setting, and I don't know, I don't want to blow anything up while I'm live here, but I think in audio, what is it called? There is a So output, where is... Not quite sure where it's not in there. Advanced. I don't see it off the top of my head. But you can definitely do a YouTube search to sync up audio and video on live streams, if that is in fact what you're dealing with. And I'll jump in the chat here and see what you have to say about that, just so we know. But there are a bunch of different ways that you can actually sync that up. TNZ, do you have to do live streams to make it to monetization? No, of course not. I'm not comfortable with doing live streams yet. No, you don't have to do live streams to make it to monetization. Once you have an audience, though, and you do live streams, you do tend to accumulate a lot more watch time on a live stream than you potentially would do in your videos. It kind of depends on your audience and whether live stream is a format that really speaks to your audience, but you can definitely make a lot of watch time in a live stream. I've certainly done many live streams that have gotten me, 100 watch hours in a single video just while I was live, plus some additional after that from replays. So there can be some opportunity there. Adventures in Dirt, hello and welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. All right, here. Oh, I'm just backtracking. I see something here that wasn't a question, but I think it should have been a question. Have you heard any news about YouTube bringing back mobile streaming for channels less than 1,000 subscribers? That definitely stunted the growth of our channel. So here's the deal with that. Just because you can't use the YouTube app to live stream at less than 1,000 subscribers, you can absolutely live stream from your mobile device under 1,000 subscribers. If you go out and get something like Streamlabs OBS, well, I think the app is just called Streamlabs, but if you go out and download the Streamlabs app, you can actually live stream from your mobile device without that limitation. So there are ways to get around that. They just aren't letting you live stream through the mobile app itself under 1,000 subscribers. Oh, hang on here. Whoa. And we're scrolling. I know I'm way behind on these questions. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any. Challenge to build, you definitely need to just start recording. Absolutely. You never get anywhere unless you record and upload. That is the way we learn, by doing, and that's how everybody starts. So if you haven't uploaded your videos, get your videos uploaded and just move forward and make improvements that way. Adventures in Dirt, what are your thoughts about featuring other larger channels on one of your playlists of similar topics? Do you think it helps YouTube associate audiences? I mean, YouTube's suggestions are all about user habit. In theory, if you can closely do that, the biggest issue with that is how much traffic you're driving to that playlist, I would think. If you're driving a ton of people to that playlist and they regularly watch those combinations, then yeah, your user, those user habits are going to reflect that people who watch some of those other channels also watch your channel. In terms of how effective it is, I'm not really sure, to what degree, but it doesn't hurt. It's free, so why not try it? All right. I have almost 90 videos uploaded. I recently did the first humorous video with myself playing two parts on the split screen. It was well received, but should I make more? If it does well for you and you enjoy making them, then I think it's a no-brainer that you could mix those in going forward. Hey, Alex, I just finished my own live stream. Good to see you. And I think, you know what? I think not even, let me see if, I just want to see something real quick. If Social Blade, oh, good, uploads. I was a little concerned because I am currently at 299 videos. So my next uploaded video is going to be my 300th video. I don't know if it's going to consider this video to be my 300th, but my next video out will be the 300th video on Creator Fundamentals. So that'll be a nice milestone. All right, here. My biggest challenge has been trying to film my content in the most interesting way to keep people engaged because I'm not just sitting in front of the camera. I spend a ton of time in my garage. Absolutely. That is an ongoing challenge for everybody. It's something that you should never stop focusing on. You should work in every single video to make it a little bit more engaging than the last. Alex Express, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the other super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Got some. Oh, hang on. All right. And did we cover that one? We covered that one. We're scrolling. I was in a live stream and expected to see you at 9 p.m., so I didn't really care, but I got the notification at 8:35-ish. That is pretty late, considering the live stream started at 8. After commenting on several channels in my niche today, any new comments I make are no longer visible to others. Will this reset back to normal if I lay off commenting? Typically, somebody will do that when you're spamming their channel. I've done that to a ton of people who comment on my channel and do so in an inappropriate way. If you are spamming their channel, if you're telling people to look at your content or you're trying to do sub for sub or any of that, there is a very strong possibility that they will simply hide your comments, and there's no mechanism that's going to turn that back on because it was done by the creator or manager of that channel. I'll stop doing this now that you told me that it's not a good idea. Thanks. All right. I'm extremely niche. What does that affect my reach negatively? I found my growth has slowed down. So I think as long as there's an audience for your niche, it's kind of hard to get too niche. One of the things you can do is explore different ways to present content related to the topic that you cover. Kind of think outside the box and find other stuff that is related or adjacent to what it is that you're covering and see how your audience responds. And obviously, if they respond positively, you can continue to make that type of content. What's your favorite editor? Mobile PC. So on mobile, I use an iPhone. So iMovie is definitely my choice for editing on an iPhone. For Android, I would suggest UCut. That's a free app, and I think I feel a sneeze coming on here. We'll see if that passes, but UCut is free software that lets you do a lot of editing features, plus it has no watermark, so that's something that you can use on Android completely for free. On PC, there is a built-in, if you're using Windows 10, there used to be Windows Movie Maker in previous versions of Windows, but in Windows 10 that no longer exists. But if you go into the Photos app on Windows 10, there are actually video editing features in it. So, and I actually covered that in, what video did I do that in? I actually showed that in one of my recent videos. Check out the last few videos that I made on the channel because I actually show that particular functionality by going into the Photos app on desktop, if that's what you're looking at. Stumped. Good content will always grow. If you really provide amazing content, you will do well no matter what. Don't rely on the algorithm. If your viewers like it, they'll find you. I've spoken with lots of YouTubers who have made it, and that is the truth. Robert, thank you. I'm close to 100 videos. I don't think some of my videos would be promoted by YouTube due to some are conspiracy theory videos. My last question would be call to action. Not sure what your question is there, but I'm curious how many viewers are able to find me considering the fact I'm a small channel. I'm just curious how they can find me so easily. Again, when there's a topic out there, YouTube is the #2 search engine. in the world. So depending on the type of content that you have, if it's searchable content, then people may be looking for similar topics, or people just for recommended content that they see on the homepage. It may be a matter of you're making content that they have a history of viewing, and therefore YouTube will put your content in front of them to see if they respond to it. And as we mentioned before, the more they respond to it, the better YouTube will understand what it's about and who to continue to suggest it to. Robert, do we really need them? Do they really help? Part 2 from yes, I would say that statistically speaking, calls to action do in fact help convert more subscribers to your channel. You definitely just need to explore the right way to do it. You want to make sure that you are delivering your value to the viewer and not simply making your video all about what you want. Hey, subscribe to my channel, like the video, without actually giving them what they showed up for. So you kind of have to find the right balance there. But yes, absolutely reminding people that, hey, if you appreciate this content and you want to see future content that can simplify YouTube, consider clicking that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss a thing. Let's see. Oh, that little blue circle drives me crazy. History explained. Is it more optimal to upload audio in stereo versus mono? One of the things I found with that is you want to make sure that you're doing mono on both channels. A lot of people, one of the things that I do when I'm listening to content sometimes is I only have one earbud in, and if people do stereo, then or what I found, or they'll end up doing mono to one channel, then if you don't have the right earbud in, then you don't hear anything. So in terms of, splitting your audio sources to two different channels like that, depending on how people are listening, that can cause a problem. But I guess that depends on your particular your audience and how they absorb your content. Do you think changing up thumbnails and adding in hashtags in old videos is a waste of time or not? A vlogger since 2012 was thinking to update descriptions below and possibly even re-edit old videos. I don't know. Changing up thumbnails, yeah, can absolutely help, but I'm not sure about the hashtag thing. The thing that I found about hashtags on YouTube, I think that if you're using too generic a hashtag, there's a good chance that if people click on them, they're just going to be pushed to a list of videos that yours isn't in. If you're going to use a hashtag, then I would make sure that it's unique to your channel. So if somebody does click on it, they're only going to see more of your content. Amazing Karate Kid. Hi, big fan. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out on the live stream with us. Covered that. Adobe Cloud is really worth it. Yeah, I have the full Adobe suite with Premiere Pro and all of those apps. I've actually half considered whether or not I want to continue to use Adobe or switch to some other editor because it is a bit pricey and I don't use all the apps that I get for it. So something I have to consider. Thank you so much, Alex Express 3, for the super chat. I appreciate it. And for those that are interested, this channel is actually one of the few channels that has access to super stickers like the super chat. For those of you who don't know what super chat is, it's an opportunity to support the channel while also getting your comment highlighted. It throws it to the top of the chat and displays it for everybody to see. Plus it stays there for a certain period of time, depending on how much your super chat is. But one of the things that I have here on this channel that a lot of other channels don't have are the super stickers, which are little animated icons that you, with different dollar amounts on them, that you can actually purchase as support for the channel that show up in the chat. And I never get to do any of the cool beta tests that they do, so it's rare that I got this, and I've seen a lot of other channels that are bigger than mine that haven't got the super stickers. So but you can see all the stickers without buying them if you click on the little square with the $sign below the chat and then click on super sticker. You'll see all the different icons that you can, all the little options they include in there. It's kind of cool. All right. Dan, will you ever make that video on improving the background in your video? I could definitely do a video about improving your background. I've certainly improved my background over the years that I've been doing this. So yeah, for sure. I'll make a video on that. What are your thoughts about the new monetization rules dropping on the 1st? Many channels like mine will become almost all limited, though they run ads from advertisers in support of my content. Let's see what your channel is about. I would actually have to read YouTube's policy to see where they actually stand on your type of content. One of the things I would do see, your channel is a good example because there's certain channels, and it looks like this channel, it revolves around firearms. One of the things you can do on your channel to kind of compensate for the way YouTube may or may not view channels about guns is to set up a Patreon and let people know in your videos. Say, hey, thank you so much for watching my content. YouTube is really cracking down on firearm channels. If you would like to support the type of content that I'm making, please visit my Patreon, join as a patron to help me to continue to make this content and bring it to you. So you can almost use the fact that they're kind of picking on you in terms of the type of content that you're making to encourage your audience to support your channel through Patreon. KRDP, how much longer are you going to be streaming for? I am actually going to wrap up the live stream here in a little while. Like I said, one of the things I'm trying to do is find a live stream schedule that works for me and my family and kind of prevents the burnout, because I was getting pretty burned out when it comes to the live streams. So that's what we're doing. We're doing 60 minutes every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we will be wrapping up here in just a few minutes. There's Alex Express once again with the super sticker. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. That is what one of the super stickers looks like. Now, is that a pear or is that an avocado? I'm not really sure. I guess the little leaf makes me think it's a pear. Let me know. Is that a pear or an avocado? Doug Houston's showing up at the tail end. Good to see you, Doug. But it's completely understandable being out there in Australia doing your thing. All right. So yeah, for those of you who see Alex Express last comment that's highlighted, that is what the super stickers look like. Why is it Wowya? Have you heard of view velocity? And if so, can you explain it? Of course, view velocity is the rate at which people jump on your content when you publish it. So if you put out a video that really resonates with your audience and a large percentage of your audience sees your thumbnail or sees the notification and they jump on the video and YouTube goes, wow, everybody's really watching this and getting on board, it must be a video that's worth sharing with other people. That is essentially what view velocity is. It's keeping a high rate of people who are getting into your video and watching the content. And obviously, the more that you're able to generate that type of response, the more YouTube is going to see that as a signal to share it with more people. How do I get more subscribers from my channel page or videos to help me get 1,000 subscribers? Continue to improve your content and continue to make content on a regular basis. That is the secret, which is not so secret on YouTube. Make quality content, do it on a consistent basis, and improve over time. You do those 3 things, subscribers will take care of themselves. Yeah, KRDP, I'll be wrapping up here in just a moment. So one thing that I do want to mention before everybody takes off, I am hosting a conference for those of you who live in the States, or maybe you want to travel to the States. I am hosting a conference called People of Video. You can go to peopleofvideo.com to find out more information. We have a bunch of great speakers who are going to be sharing their knowledge. Plus, it's an opportunity to meet other creators in person and build those relationships, business or personal relationships that are going to help your content creation and your business in the future. So if you've never been to a conference, this may be the one to start. It's a lot more affordable than all the other conferences that are out there. Tickets start at $199. It's here in Albany, New York, and I'd love to meet you guys in person. So if you've been considering to go to a conference, if you want to invest in yourself and your content creation and business around that content creation, definitely consider checking out People of Video. I'd love to see you there. Again, peopleofvideo.com. Hey, construction cronies. I have a lot of people that are showing up at the normal 9 p.m. time this evening. So maybe I'll hang out. Adventures in Dirt in upstate New York. Yes, absolutely. You can go to peopleofvideo.com. I'll throw it in the chat. But peopleofvideo.com will be in Albany, New York, May 2nd and 3rd of 2020. So this coming May next year. And it's going to be myself and a bunch of other creators that are sharing their experiences with you to help you grow your content, build your business around your content. Plus, there's going to be a lot of people who are attending that you can meet in person, build relationships, set up collaborations, do all that kind of thing. And it's just going to be a great time. We're all going to get together. It's always great to see my fellow creators in person. I attend other conferences out on the West Coast, but honestly, they're out in the West Coast, and that's a major undertaking to get out there. So one of the things that I want to do is develop a conference for content creators here on the East Coast, and that conference is People of Video. And just as an offshoot, on my Patreon that I just recently revamped, if you want to directly support People of Video and the concept of bringing everybody together in person, that's one of the tiers that's available on patreon.com/creatorfundamentals. And I appreciate your support. Thank you so much, Chris, for that. I appreciate it. Alex Express 3, I'm definitely attending. Fantastic. Joe, hoping to make it. You know, you're pretty darn close. I definitely want to see you there. Albany, yeah, we're not too far from Quebec. Start planning now. It's in May. You got plenty of time to prepare. Information on the venue is on. You can find it at peopleofvideo.com. You can get your tickets there. And yeah, we all get to hang out in person. And if you guys do attend the event, definitely find me, come up and say hello, introduce yourself. One of the things that you'll find at conferences in person is that a lot of times people will recognize you by your channel name versus your real name. So be sure to, if you do see me, come up, introduce yourself, and let me know your channel name so we can kind of make that connection. But yeah, I originally attended my first conference in 2017, and it really was a game changer. I went to Vid Summit out in Los Angeles with like 300 subscribers. And the following year, I went back with 10,000 subscribers. And now we're entering the third year, and I'm at 42,000 subscribers, or closing in on 42,000 subscribers. So just crossed into the third year of Creator Fundamentals, and we're up in the 40,000 subscriber range and closing in on 2.5 million views. So the information that I learned definitely helped me to build my channel, but not only build my channel, but start to build the business around my channel. This channel now, far and away, through your support and the different ways that it's able to generate money, helps take care of itself to run the channel. So I'm able to do things like get out to these conferences and focus on different ways to bring educational information to you guys that can help you grow your channels. Construction Cronies, got the screen behind you. Stream looking great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Alex Express, I own a trucking company, so I can book a load up to New York. Hey, I'd love to meet you in person. Definitely come and hang out with us here in New York. Hey, Shadow, how you doing? All right. History Explained. I'm in Queens, New York City. I'll probably join. Awesome. I'd love to see you guys. I'm really excited about it. It's obviously the first conference that I've ever organized. I do head out to History Explained September 28th, which is coming up here. Not this weekend, but next weekend. I'm actually going to be in New York City for a creator meetup. So if anybody lives in and around New York City and they're able to get to New York City on September 28th, as part of Dan Norton's New York City Video Mastermind, I'm going to be down there to meet with creators and kind of answer questions and help people out with their channels and whatnot. So if you happen to be in that area on September 28th, then definitely reach out to me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and let me know, and I'll get you the details on coming to our meetup for the New York City Video Mastermind on September 28th down in New York City. I'm doing well, Shadow. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. All right, so I think all the late attendees have arrived. It is time to wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Had a good time as always. Hopefully you got your questions answered and took away a little bit of information that can help you grow your channel and move it forward. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me here on Wednesday night, and I'd love to see you guys every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll do this again real soon on next Wednesday. Again, if you want to see future content, if you want to get alerts on these live streams, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you've clicked that notification bell, or else YouTube may decide to just not let you know. So I'll see everybody next week, same time, same day. Take care.